watching Diecast Breakdown with Chuck Ellis, David Johns, and Mark McHotwheel. So sit back, strap in, and hang on. The breakdown starts now.
Well, hey there, folks. Chuck here, and welcome to Diecast Breakdown. I am joined by my co-host, Mr. David Johns. How you doing today, David?
I'm doing good, Chuck. Thanks. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yes, indeed. And Mark McHotwheel will be joining us in a few minutes, and we'll get an update from him on Driven Dreams and the Diecast Day of Giving. That is still going on, by the way. So if you haven't contributed yet, or you would like to continue contributing, please visit drivendreams.org and make your pledge of cars known, and you can find out all about that on drivendreams.org. We'll be talking about that a little bit more later in the show. But before we get too much further, David, I must ask you, what is exciting you in the world of Diecast?
Well, Chuck, we got loads to talk about today. I'm going to have to use my cheat sheet, so bear with me as I look to the side here. First thing I want to mention is I saw a post by friend of the show, Anthony Ryan Schmidt, the best diecast photographer out there. 2024 calendars are ready to be ordered. I believe it might be a pre-order or they might be available for purchase at this time, but I did see him post something making that announcement. You'll want to check that out on Instagram. Saw something curious on Instagram too, Chuck. Mini GT has had to withdraw releasing the 1981 Launcher Rally version seen here.
That's wild.
Yeah. They cite logo placement and color inaccuracies on the official Mini GT IG post as the reason. I expect maybe we'll see those tweaked and re-released, but it's a shame. Really cool looking rally car. We do have some stuff that is confirmed that is coming out though. We have got a new Hot Wheels vintage set. We have got a Benz, a Corvette, a BMW, a Miura, and a Porsche. And I'd like to draw your attention. Check out the Hot Wheels flame logo in black. That has a meaning. And once we confirm it, I read some stuff and I'm not quite ready or confident to say that it's absolutely color specific, but the new flame logos are going to start looking different on cards based on the type of car from what we're hearing. We'll confirm that and get back to you. Yeah. All right. For all you TikTokers out there, I would encourage you to check out Greenlight Collectibles. Their page is new. They're looking to build some followers on that platform, and they're going to be doing some pretty cool giveaways, as you can see right here. I'm going to go ahead, Chuck, and run with McHotwheel's things that he was going to talk about. We have got a really cool Tarmac Works. Check out this Hello Kitty release. You guys remember when we spoke to Felix, he basically said, yeah, my daughter loves Hello Kitty. And when you have your own diecast car company, you get to make cars based on that kind of criteria. So really cool. This is their second release, second year in a row that they've done a Hello Kitty livery. Pretty popular with Hot Wheels. Hope you guys will make that the same case with Tarmac Works as well. So speaking of Tarmac Works, Chuck, we have a pre-order announcement for the 2023 October releases coming out. The very top one is what has my attention specifically. This is their new J collection. It is going to be, these are all going to be true 164, but these are going to be nods to a previous J car collection. Really excited for those. You can see some other cool ones as well. The wagon with the Porsche, the Hilux truck, and the Pagani. Just a stacked lineup as we come to expect from Tarmac Works. Last one that I will shut up is going to be this really cool N064 GTR. Check out the color shift paint on this bad boy. This is a collaboration that N064 is doing for a Australia diecast show. It's going to be almost like a convention car for that event, and it looks pretty cool. I know our buddy Fex Death in Australia, he loves his GTRs. He would absolutely be all over that one. Super cool paint job. And that is what I'm pretty excited about this week in Diecast.
All right. Well, I've got a few as well. I've got M2 has a new Auto Haulers series that looks really cool. I'm loving this VW bus setup that they've got going.
Look at that.
It's 3 different trucks all together. I don't think I've ever seen them do a lineup like that. And I know a lot of people have a unique relationship to M2. I just bought one recently and realized I didn't look too closely and it was missing a headlight. But that's on me. I needed to check that. And, but yeah, their stuff when it's great is really great. And I'm loving this project car Mustang with the Ford F100, and then they've got this crazy Chevy big rig with a Olds 442. It looks like, or is that a GTO? Oh, that's a GTO.
It looks like a GTO. Yep.
I know my cars. Anyway, very cool setup. Looking forward to that. Auto World, we've talked about this one before. Pre-orders are available now for it. It is a Miho exclusive Chevy Silverado. You can order it on places like friend of the show, Diecast Direct. Has these available for pre-order. It is a really cool retro style paint job with a modern-ish camper and some fancy wheels, and it is a little on the pricey side. It is almost $23, but it is a very cool setup, and I believe the first time they've put a camper on the back of an Auto World. So very exciting there. This is just one that I just really think is really cool. Matchbox Collectors has a Triumph TR6 that is part of their Matchbox Collector series. And, for being a mid-tier premium car, still a beautifully proportioned car. I'm eager to get my hands on it and customize it. Very good looking car. I think the best looking of the Triumph TR series, and just a really cool representation of that. As I mentioned before, Driven Dreams is still doing the Diecast Day of Giving. It's still going on. So far, they are at 12,047 cars. So well on our way. We want to have that at 20,000 by the end of the year. So please make sure that you go out there, and as you're picking up cars for yourself, throw a few extra in, Hot Wheels or Matchbox or Maisto. It doesn't matter, as long as they're going to some kids in need in your area. It's a really cool project that Mark and Kimber dreamed up, and we're really happy to help boost that project. Speaking of boosting things, our small channel shout out this week is Giancarlo's Garage Customs Diecast, which has a abysmally, for it, underrated 192 subscribers. Please go over there and check it out. His link is going to be in the description. It is in Spanish when it is talking, but usually it's mostly music, and we know that y'all love Jakarta Diecast Project, and none of that's got any dialogue or English in it, but he's doing some really cool downhill racing and some beautiful diorama work and making some great videos, and for some reason not getting the love from YouTube. So be sure to go check that out. It's a really cool project, and I hope it goes well for him. I also want to point out, if you've got news of an event, an update, a product you're excited about, if you're working on something that you feel like the Diecast world needs to know about, email us at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com, and you might see it on a future episode of Diecast Breakdown. And speaking of Diecast Breakdown and the Diecast Media Network, we are actively looking for contributors to this channel. Mark and David have generously supplied time, money, and sweat and tears along with me on growing this channel. We've just crossed 3,300 subscribers, which is really awesome. We're growing fast. We're getting attention from bigger brands. We're getting attention from bigger guests, and we are so grateful for everybody helping with that. And we want to continue to grow this channel by adding more shows and more contributors. So if you want to do social media, or if you want to do a video segment, or you want to periodically submit a custom build or something to show off on this channel, email us at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com, and let's talk about it, because we're looking to, the three of us love this project, and we're putting as much of it as we can into it, but we're, just 3 people. So we really feel like this has legs. We've got a lot going for us, and we really want to see this do well. So again, thank you everyone, especially those of you watching live right now. We are so grateful for you, and we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to talk with Hayden Moreno of HHW Customs. So stick around.
We'll be back with more Diecast Breakdown after this word from our sponsors. The day of giving has come and gone, but the Diecast season of giving continues. We're halfway to reaching our goal of donating 20,000 cars around the world to kids in need. All you need are brand new and packaged Diecast cars and a local charity of your choosing to join in. Help us put smiles on the faces that need it most. Learn how you can join in and submit your donation to be counted at drivendreams.org. Let's end the year strong.
Hey everybody, this is Jovita from the SRT Jovita Show, and you are watching Diecast Breakdown.
If you have a favorite Diecast channel with less than 700 subscribers and you'd like to see them highlighted on a future episode, email us at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com. The Diecast Media Network store is here. Wear your passion with pride, featuring designs from Diecast Breakdown, flying Valiant builds, plus unique designs inspired by diecast culture from Justin Ellis. Visit tpublic.com/Diecast Media Network now.
Hey, this is Chad Reed from Round 2, and you're watching Diecast Breakdown.
And now back to Diecast Breakdown.
All right, well, we are back, and we are super excited because we have got Hayden Moreno joining us today of HHW Customs. Hayden, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Bryce, for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome, Hayden.
Well, we are really excited to have you on because we try to have as many third-party suppliers, custom suppliers on the show as possible because, as David is wont to say frequently, this is a golden age of diecast, and we have so much available to us, but it's really hard to kind of keep track of it because it's all over the place. And so when I get a chance to find somebody who's doing something really cool in the hobby, I want to know more about them and I want to have them on the show. So I had found your stuff. I don't remember exactly how I found it, but it was a few months ago, and I've purchased from you, I think 2 or 3 times now, and every experience has been very positive. So when we were talking about new guests, we absolutely were like, we need to have Hayden on. So thank you so much for taking some time on a Sunday to join us.
Thank you.
So let's get started at the beginning. How did you get into the world of diecast?
My dad. So as a kid, always had Hot Wheels just like everyone else did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I slowly got out of it until about I was 17. And my dad started collecting again. And I kind of just got introduced to it that way again, refreshing. And started getting back into liking cars, and wanted to make a one of one, and then it all kind of snowballed.
Mm-hmm. So at what point did you go, hey, this is something that I need to share with others?
Probably around 2018 when I started selling wheels at like a local venue.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that people wanted to just have a variety, but didn't want to have to meet me all the time. And they're like, oh, you should make an Instagram, you should make a website, stuff like that. And I started doing that. And then, just built up from there.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. So HHWC kind of springs out of that. What kind of went into starting your business? Like, how did you do that? Like, what were you doing a day job at the same time? Was this something that, kind of came naturally, or was what kind of work went into creating that?
Honestly, I didn't have plans to make this into a business. I started off just buying the wheels for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just made an Instagram to showcase the work that I was making, just to have fun with it. I was 17 or 18 at the time. I was out of high school, didn't have a job, and was looking for something else to do while I went to community college.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a way to make money, have stock for my projects, and kind of supply other people who were coming weekly. And I was going to other places like that, meeting people, and it's kind of just where it just started happening.
Mm-hmm. So where do you, like, I'm not asking to give the name of your supplier or anything, but like, do you design the wheels yourself, or do you get them pre-made from somebody else? Like, what kind of goes into when you go, I want to add this particular wheel to my collection? Because you've got a really big selection.
Yeah, I do. So 99% of what you're actually seeing on my website is Mattel official stuff.
Mhm.
I've only ever made one mold of a tire. I'm trying to see if I can reach it here, but it's just a basic Krager, the size 12 for the back of a
Mhm.
gasser. That's the only one I've ever designed myself, and actually went to a factory and had it, the rubber made, the wheel made, had it chromed, had it shipped over here, stuff like
Nice.
that. But yeah, most of it's Mattel official stuff that I have contacts overseas. I've gone through, I forget how many countries now, obviously Malaysia and Indonesia, but I've gone through other stuff like China, Vietnam, Taiwan, Thailand, stuff like that. Just getting wheels here.
Hayden, can you talk about just like the growth, even in just, the 4 or 5 years that you've been doing this? Like, do you see just like an, I don't know, an exponential growth in the customizing community?
Oh, 100%. I think it was 2020 was when things really started, or 2020, 2019 when COVID started happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's when everyone was at home and started picking up a hobby, and just started having some extra time. And it's definitely grown just from then a whole bunch, but then even more from when I was like in 2017, 2018, because there was not much available. There was one or two sellers on eBay selling a couple wheels, and it took a month to get here, and it's just kind of exploded to a lot of the stuff in the States now. There's a lot of different sellers like myself who sell the wheels, who sell the decals, who sell the 3D parts, stuff like that. And I'm sure you've seen it, how many people on eBay there is. You look up Hot
Yeah.
Wheel, wheels, and there's 3 different listings, a whole bunch of different styles and colors. Yeah.
So, Chuck, can we real quickly, so that our viewers who are no doubt kind of curious about the site, Hayden, tell everybody exactly how to find your site, and perhaps we can maybe field some questions later after people have gone in and looked while we're talking, because the selection you offer is amazing. So tell everybody where to go so they can kind of peek on their phone while we're talking.
It's at HHWCustoms.com. And if you want, that's my, let's see if it'll show up. That's the business
Yep.
card I have, if you want to screenshot it. But yeah,
There
thanks.
it is.
Thank you, Chuck.
All right.
But that's the business card. But yeah, I have all the wheels there and all that stuff. But yeah, all the decals too.
I don't know about you guys, but I love the idea. All right, so let me preface this by saying, Hayden, when you're old like me and Chuck, our eyes are terrible, and the idea of painting straight lines or highly detailed headlamps on a custom is so frustrating, because you get that paint just the way you like it, and then you mess it all up by painting some janky headlamp on your custom. So those decals and headlamps, they like make or break a well executed custom. Can you speak on just maybe how much it kind of ties a bow on a custom to have, special decals and details like that?
Absolutely. Just like you said, you can work so hard, make 3-4 hours on a paint job, and the finished product is cool. But if you want to take an extra step, add taillights, add headlights, it really does just bring it to life. I've had, I don't know, countless people say that to me, even before I was making them, because I was painting them before, just like you. I had a toothpick, and I was just getting some tester's chrome and just doing a little dot here and there, and it adds a different depth to the custom, and it really does make it look like a real miniature car.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta say that's something. It's really interesting too, because I think it's something that a lot of decal people don't do, and I think it's really cool that you're doing it, especially with all the JDM stuff, because you know, JDM cars typically have much more unique headlights and front fascias and grills and stuff, and a lot of the older American muscle cars and stuff, we all use the same seal beam headlamps, so you could get away with doing a chrome dot or whatever. But you got a Nissan 300Z, or you've got a the Lexus LS 400 you do,
Mhm.
the Honda Civics. They've got these, beautiful wraparound headlights with different colors and amber and white. And so to have something that is made specifically for that car and done in that scale is really cool. So I was curious, how do you go about picking the cars, and what is the design process like for you?
Honestly, picking the cars is just if someone messages me saying, "Hey, can you make this car?" Like, sure,
Mhm.
no problem. It's usually just a matter of me having the casting itself. I use a micrometer. I just measure it all.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just a couple like hours or an hour or so in a Photoshop trying to bring it
Mhm.
all to life. I actually started switching to Illustrator now because I can get a better
Sure.
detail. Um, but yeah, before it was all Photoshop, and when I first started, I was actually taking pictures of the real car headlight, and I was shrinking it down, so he was
Mhm.
getting that incredible detail, and
Mhm.
spending hours on Google looking for the right angle of the headlight to make it work and all that stuff.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, no, it's just
It's
whatever
interesting.
car I think. If I'm working on a custom and I need a headlight, I'll make that and just add it to my collection and just
Mhm.
have other people. I'm
Yeah.
sure they want to do the customs too.
Do you know how many you have in your collection now? How many decals? Because you just added like dozens more recently.
Headlight decals or just decals in general.
Oh, let's do both. Let's talk what headlights
Um,
specifically.
Headlights, probably about 150 different cars.
Wow.
And
Yep.
then I just did a big drop, I think 2 weeks ago,
Hmm.
beginning of October. And it has around 260 different
Yeah.
brand new decals. Yeah. And that's the full
Yeah.
body wraps. That's the different stuff like that. Yeah. The whole thing.
And the important thing too for most people to remember is that you do white toner decals. You're not one of the like they're for a long time you could get decals made by aftermarket guys and they were just like clear toner things that people were making on their inkjets because that's what they
Yes.
had. But you're doing actual white toner decals, and as someone who has a white toner printer myself, I appreciate the frustration that goes into that. Like, are you using like a ghost toner type system, or are you using like a printer that's actually designed to print white toner?
So before I was actually doing what you said before, the inkjet. I was
Hmm.
selling the inkjet ones, and then that didn't go too well. It
Sure.
only lasted a little bit, and then yeah, I switched to a ghost toner, and then I had gone through in about 2 years. I'd gone through four to five printers because
Yeah.
I was just printing so much every day, and just putting, unfortunately, the printers through hell,
Sure.
Mhm.
just working them to death, and then
Mhm.
my printers actually got discontinued. So I had to find another option.
Yeah.
So I bought an Alps MD5000,
Yeah.
and then that didn't work. From China, it's a whole story. Um,
Yeah.
but
Well,
now
well,
I went in. Yeah.
I was gonna say the Alps is discontinued too, isn't it? Like that's like basically trying to
Yes.
retrofit an older system. Because I know previous guest of the show, Paul Udelis, who's also out in Vegas, had an Alps printer, and it's just it can be a nightmare because
It
you're
is.
basically dealing with very old tech. Like I think you had to run like a Windows 98 system on it to get it to work.
XP, yeah.
Yeah,
XP98, one
exactly.
of
That
those.
was it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I had even bought the whole laptop for that and
yeah.
spent quite a bit of money. And yeah, I couldn't get it to work,
So much
unfortunately.
money. And I'm with you. Like I don't even print uh decals that often, and I'm on my third HP 254, and I just had somebody give me a 281, which is really cool. It's an all-in-one, really nice, much more professional one that fortunately takes my ghost toner cartridges. But and guys, you don't understand the frustration of printing ghost toner because there's
Mm-mm.
no registration. You have to just kind of line it up and hope. You have to feed it through once, get the white, then change out your cartridge, feed the paper through again, and hope to God that it lines up perfectly. Otherwise, you end up with a whole wasted sheet, and that sheet itself is $1. And with ghost toner cartridges, it's basically costing you 75 cents per page to print with
Yeah.
as limited life as those have. So I appreciate the amount of work that goes into doing that. And I know there are other ones out there that are and the printers to do it right, people don't understand. They start at $4,000 to
Mm.
do one that has an actual white toner built-in system. I've seen them used for, a little less than 3, but I don't know how much I would trust a used printer.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I appreciate that you're doing the Lord's work out there with getting these white toner decals and getting them done correctly, and doing something that involves actual design time on your part, and then marrying that with an outstanding wheel selection, very reasonable prices. Folks, you need to follow him. Get your name on his email list, because there are frequently sales. The prices are great already. I'm not going to lie. The prices are great already. But
Yeah,
when you offer your sales, I'm like, oh no, my wallet's really going to feel this, because I'm about to place a big order with Hayden. But yeah, it's really cool to see that come along. I'm glad that the decals are taking off. I remember kind of early on, I had placed an order with you and got some decals, and I made a video about it, and people were like, I don't like his quality of his stuff. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's fine. And they must have been talking about buying your older stuff before you switched to the white toner, to the Ghost printer, or to whatever you're using now, the Alps system. And, so I was more than happy to push back on that. And, I've made a couple of videos since then about, showing off the stuff that you do. But anyway, it's really, really cool. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a bit about 3D printing. So everybody stick around, and we will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. Diecast Breakdown will be right back after these messages.
This episode of Diecast Breakdown is brought to you by you. That's right. We are 100% viewer and listener supported, and we are so grateful for those of you who have already supported the podcast and the shows we're planning to add to the Diecast Media Network family. You can find out more about how to support this project by visiting diecastmedianetwork.com or email us about sponsoring an episode at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com.
Hello, this is Diecast Dude from the Netherlands, and you are watching Diecast Breakdown.
This presentation of Diecast Breakdown is brought to you by Twice Diecast and Dotson Man Diecast on YouTube. Please visit their links in the show notes and subscribe to their channels for more epic Diecast content.
Hey, this is Champion DJK, and you're watching Diecast Breakdown.
And now, the thrilling conclusion of this week's episode of Diecast Breakdown.
All right. Well, we are back, and we are talking with Hayden Moreno of HHWCustoms. I always want to say HHWCustoms, so that's like saying ATM machine. Yeah, you want to just say it all at once, though. So we were talking about customizing. We talked about your amazing decal selection. We talked about the wheels, and now we want to talk about another thing that makes me want to bang my head against the wall: 3D printed parts, and how you are one of, I think, probably one of the best suppliers of 3D printed parts out there, just because of your selection and because of your prices and the ease of your website. You have a great website. When it, I know it goes down periodically because you're updating stuff, but I've not had any problems ordering from it. So let's talk about entering the world of 3D printing. When did you first start doing 3D prints?
Probably around COVID, beginning of COVID, okay. Maybe a little bit before that. Wanted to make some extra money, and I had some ideas that I wanted to bring to life, and I was not good with putty. I had tried that. It was not that easy. So I figured 3D printing would be easier. I found a cheap printer, and I ended up just sticking with it and buying more, and kind of started escalating from there.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting plenty of compliments on your work, Hayden. Do you offhand, without any data to support it, kind of off the cuff, can you name like 3 of, say, your most popular, if I could go back to decals, like liveries that people are eating up?
I make U-Haul ones, Universal U-Hauls. Yeah. Those are pretty good. I had made some anime ones before, but I don't think I released them now. But people like the energy drinks ones. I made a lot of Monster Energy, Red Bull ones. The bigger brands, stuff like that. Yep. Those seem to be really, really well because they're relating the brand to a real car or something like that.
Right.
And then, I try to make them mostly universal, so you can throw any cars. Just that way, you're not stuck with this one only fits this car, this one only fits that one. Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at that. We are joined by Mr. Dotson Man. How you doing, Mark?
Good. How's it
Mark
going?
McStarby's. Welcome.
No, it's not Starbucks. How's it going, Hayden? How you doing?
How's it going, Mark?
So,
Pretty good.
Mark, just to get you up to speed with everybody, we're talking with Hayden of HHW Customs. We were just talking about his 3D printed part selection. We were talking about his decals earlier. So, so Hayden, again, kind of going back to your 3D printed stuff, like what kind of stuff did you initially start adding to your collection when you started offering those parts, and what was the original reaction to that?
I think a lot of people liked them. It was something that wasn't really available at the time in my area. Again, everything is online, but they were paying an arm and a leg for shipping.
Sure.
But some of the first things I did that I think really took off was I had made 1/64 scale motorcycles. I actually have one here, Andy. I had made, let's see if that'll pop up.
Yeah, somebody was talking about that Harley.
I've got one of those. It's a really cool looking one.
Yeah, it's a little bagger, but so I made made one of those, and I made actually 2 versions of it, and those people loved. I mean, it's definitely not perfect. I won't say it is, but it's something that wasn't available, and I still don't think it is available. And people really like that. I made one with 8 hangers and different. I made a 3-wheeler, stuff like that. But yeah, people really like that stuff. I had made roof racks and some surfboards and some fender flares, stuff like that. Just universal stuff that people could use.
Mark, I see a lot of 510 3D print parts.
It's got a lot of decals.
Cool. Well, I'm pretty sure I've bought stuff from Hayden before. Pretty sure.
Roof rack, wide body kit. That's pretty wild. And I love I can't get over the 510 light set, the front facade or fascia, whatever.
Oh yeah. Those are pretty cool.
He's got some really cool custom grills on that look really good. Yeah. I've got a handful of those. You know, he's got a mystery machine decal set for a 510. I know that's something you like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love the mystery machine.
Yeah. So
Hayden, you're sold out of the jack-o'-lantern bed filler. That's a shame, man.
Beautiful combo.
Keep it up there. Keep it up there. There it is.
Yeah. Yep. I love the mystery machine. Love 510s. Good combo.
Yeah. Love the white. Is that? Oh no, those are chrome.
Just chrome
for the wheels. But I thought that was white walls for a second.
Yeah,
very cool.
Those work.
So Mustang Hunter, Jason says he needs a Bang Energy. I think he's talking about decals. You got some. Bullet Tony Customs said he loved the Harley bagger, and he also asked about metal foil decals. Is that something that you plan to offer in the future?
If I could find a way to make them work, I will. It's been in my back of my head for a while, especially for some of the Silverados, tailgates, stuff like that. But haven't been able to make it to my standard of quality that I would be able to release. But if I can figure it out, it will be made. Some just metal flake or foil.
There's not many people doing metal foil decals. I think Second Chance Redline does some, but his stuff is really only limited to like the old school red lines and some Blackwall stuff. He does some customs, but I've bought from him before, and I think it's really cool. Like, you offer a lot of really unique stuff too when it comes to 3D printing. Like, you've got little pop-up headlights that you can add to your builds. You've got the Thermador car cooler. You've got some really cool props like British phone booths and all sorts of wild ways to accessorate your stuff, vending machines. So are you designing all these yourself, or are you finding these designs online? Where are you getting all this stuff from?
I think only about 5 designs I've bought from somewhere else, excluding the motors. The motors I had outsourced, and I had someone do that because I was not that talented to make them as good as I wanted. But everything else I'm designing myself here at the house, printing it here, and spending a lot of time in the background.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. And I think something a lot of people don't realize, like 3D printers have come a real long way, even since 2020. I've got 3 or 4 of them at home, and they are hard. It's honestly, I, as someone who took the plunge and bought a 3D printer, in hindsight, I think I would have served myself better just buying parts as I needed them, because it is cool, because you do have the world out there, and there are great websites like Thingiverse, and Tinkercad is very easy to learn and create your designs in. I highly encourage people, if they're going to sink in the money, go and do that. But I also caution people because it is really hard, whether you're doing FDM or you're doing resin printing, you have to factor in everything from the temperature of the room to the relative humidity, or, your parts may come out too soft or too brittle, or they'll,
definitely is a
crack
lot to
open
think
and
about.
leak. Yeah, it's a really complex thing. So I appreciate that you've created, your stuff is very high quality. I'm very satisfied with everything I've gotten from you 3D printed wise. The motorcycles look fantastic, and they're I don't have to deal with the headache of going, okay, well, that was 5 failed print attempts and all
Now you
this
just let somebody else do it.
all this extra acetone that
absolutely.
I've had to rub into my skin as I'm trying to clean the parts off, and all the alcohol and all the stuff that I'm exposing myself to. But so it's again, the Lord's work that you're doing over there, because that's some really painstaking stuff. I mean, I'm sure you've done it so much now that you can do it in your sleep, but so you mentioned that you do a lot of shows as well. So let's kind of talk about what show life is like. Like, what's it like to participate in something like that as a vendor?
It's waking up when it's still pitch black outside, and then driving to an empty parking lot, and then waiting for everyone else to show up. That was my experience today. In the morning, woke up at around 6 o'clock and just started going. But it's a lot of fun, if I'm being honest with you. It's a great way to see the community like in real life, and not just on a screen on Instagram or on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah.
And like someone had said earlier, it's great to connect a face to an account. And when I first started doing that, it was it was such a fun feeling to meet the people I've been following for a couple months here or there, and just seeing it in real life. And but no, it's a lot of fun. You set up, get a some events are you have to pay, you have to have a designated spot where you set up. Others is just show up in a parking lot and set up wherever you want. And
back alley.
Yeah, pretty much.
Open the trench coat. You want to buy some diecast parts, kid?
Like what you see here?
Yeah.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah, Mark, you missed it earlier. Mark, he was telling us I remember his booth at the SuperCon. He was there, and I believe you and I talked to him. I'll tell you off air so you can remember where. We won't waste all that time trying to remember, but that's really cool. And Hayden, that's why we're here. That's why this show exists, is to connect us all. Because man, we all love these cars. We all love this hobby, and guys like you are making it to where we can literally make anything we want, and that's super cool, man. That is so cool to have guys and resources like you.
Yeah, we need it. We want to create.
Yeah.
So, while we're talking about all of this, do you have any? Let's start with the decals. Let's go back there real quick. Like, what are some of the kind of tips that you have for people? Because everybody has their own kind of way of doing decals. What are some of the ways that you found work best when it comes to, like, if I was a beginner looking to put decals on a car, what is your recommended process for that?
Don't expect it to be perfect, first of all, because I think we've all experienced just having so much trouble with the first couple tries. But usually I say just cut it to size the way you want. Always leave a little extra, because you never know what's gonna fold or bend or whatever. And just room temperature water, and then just be prepared to have some extra super sharp scissors there or something, and make sure it can bend. Q-tips are always recommended. Some people clear coat the decals beforehand. I tell them it's recommended because some people use tweezers, and then that it'll start flaking the decal itself.
Yeah.
And it's just everyone has their own way of going about it.
Sure.
I don't use any tools. I don't use any microsol or microset. I don't use anything. It's just water and a paper towel, and that's where I seem to have the most positive outcomes. Some people can only use microsol, microset. It's really just whatever you find is easiest for you.
And for those of you who like using microset, there's a little secret for you. It's just vinegar and water.
Yeah.
Save yourself some money. It really is. Like I read that somewhere and I was like, what, really? And then I got a chance to buy one. I was like, oh, I'll roll the dice for $3.50. I'll buy one. And I was like, yep, that's just vinegar in there. That's amazing. Vinegar and water. But yeah, it's I like using a micro set and microsol on my stuff, but I agree with you. Water is usually, especially with with third-party parts and stuff like that, it's pretty safe, depending on where you're getting it from. Like microsol does have a little bit of acetone in it, so if you're not careful and you use too much of it, it will melt your decal. So I think the only times I really use microsol anymore is if I'm going over something that's really complex and it needs to have that extra give in the decal, and that's usually if I'm printing my own stuff and printing it at home on the laser printer, and you end up with decals that are a little thicker than your common decal. The decal parchment is a little bit more rigid and doesn't always fit the curves just right. But so I like that. Just stick with water and you'll be a lot better off.
Hayden,
So,
are you open to any kind of like special requests, like commission type stuff? Like, what if I wanted to have you do a set with Mark's face that I wanted to put on the hood of a car?
He's not interested.
Unfortunately, at the moment, I try to stay away from custom commission work at all. I used to do it for the first 3 years or so when I was doing it, and I just had nothing but bad experiences of people.
There's no pleasing people with that.
No, I would make stuff and I'd get ghosted, and here I am with a whole bunch of decals, 50 cars,
right.
something like
Can't
that.
do anything.
Yeah, someone's personal name on it. I'm like, okay, I can't, go in the junk pile or something.
Did you ever consider doing deposits, or did you do anything like that where you took deposits down to where it kind of covers you if they ghost you?
I thought about it, but then I usually custom stuff is just the same price usually as a regular decal. It's like $4. So I'm like, it's not worth it. Deposit.
Right.
But yeah, that's where I made I have a box, and it's just mess up decals. And originally it started off as a commission fail decal box. So now that's where all my offset prints and stuff like that would go. But yeah, it was just a bad experience for commission stuff. Yeah.
A bag of bad memories.
We can't have nothing nice around
thanks
here.
for bringing it up, David.
Yeah, my bad.
He forgot about it completely. He's like, he's sleeping good at night. Now he's waking up in cold sweats.
So we're getting a lot of comments here. So thank you everybody for putting in comments and questions. Naruto Wolf says, wait, is Hayden the one that makes the cherry blossom tree decals? Is that you?
I have made some in the past. Yes.
Okay. Well, bro, I absolutely love how they look on a white casting.
Bro.
Well, thank you, Naruto Wolf. So there's other people that said, Bullet Tony Customs, as he said earlier, loves the bagged Harley. Simon's Car Stuff says would totally pick up some 3D printed motorcycles. Miniature Mustangs just ordered some 3D printed parts. So thank you so much, Miniature Mustangs. And Naruto Wolf also commented if Hayden's the one that makes the samurai decal, bruh, it is well detailed and looks masculine on a BMW M3 Trust Familia. I hope that's you.
I have made some before, yes.
Yeah. So there's other people that are asking questions like, I know you do some motors. Are you planning to add any more motors to your selection of 3D printed parts?
I am planning on making more. I actually just got some resin in the mail today. Nice. I do have, I forget, I think maybe like 30 different engine designs, all motors, all brand new stuff.
Wow.
So a lot of new stuff is coming, and it's going to be released hopefully soon. I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff before the weather gets too cold to print here.
Yeah. That's another thing too, is it can actually get too cold to print. That is a frustrating thing for sure. Yeah, I want to put in a plug right now for Chrysler Slant 6 engines. If you do that, I'll buy 10 of them right now.
Chrysler Slant 6 engines.
10.
Yeah.
I'll write that down. How about that?
Or like
it's pretty easy to do.
I'm just saying the first batch I'll buy 10.
Block.
It's just like a wedge that's leaning this way.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
No, it's got a interesting design to it. It's it's slated 30 degrees. It's got kind of an offset intake and exhaust manifold, and you've got the carburetor, and there's the Hyperpack version, which has this really long, drawn out intake manifold that they put a big 4-barrel on, and it was actually used for they were going to do a compact series in NASCAR in 1960. They started it, and the deal was that it was going to be all Novas, Valiants, and Falcons, and they could only run the 6-cylinder engines. So Chrysler came up with this insane version of the Slant 6 called the Hyper Pack that had this really long intake and this dual exhaust setup, and it was bad on the road because it was basically designed to run at wide open throttle. So it had this like really long thing that only worked if you had like full floored maximum vacuum pulling the gas in.
That's how you should drive anyways. So
exactly. And Richard Petty drove one. And they discontinued the series because the Valiants would come in 1st through 5th every race. And the other guys picked up their ball and went home.
Speaking.
So, but anyway, it's a very popular Chrysler engine that does not get a lot of love in the aftermarket world. So, and I've got 2 cars with that engine in it. I've got a 77 Dodge truck and my 64 Valiant. Simon Stuff asks, any super sport bikes? Question mark.
I think I have a file for like 1 or 2. I can't remember the names of them. But I had made them a while back, but I can add it to the list to be printed again, along with all the baggers and stuff like that.
Nice. Mustang Hunter Diecast. Jason asks, does he do track pieces or anyone?
I do not.
Do you print track pieces or do you print people? Either one.
I don't track pieces, but I have done figurines before.
Okay.
And have you ever considered printing a 3D printer machine?
Oh man, then you could just keep printing more 3D printing machines.
I have.
Get
it
one
sounds
free,
cool.
basically.
Yeah.
Yep. Return my one I bought.
Return the one that's 3D printed. Like, yeah, it doesn't work like I wanted it.
Build quality is not that good.
3D print a decoy 3D printer and return that.
Exactly. That's how this works.
Let's see. Naruto Wolf says, "Yo, I got some 3D print suggestions for Hayden if it's all right. In NOS bottle, seats. Well, he does do seats, guys. Yep. Different varieties of wings, figures for a garage diorama, and a universal base for Stanced Customs. I know you do have some
Buffalo
lifters and stuff. So let's talk. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, let's go ahead and run through the different 3D printed parts that you have, like the different varieties that you have available.
Oh, okay. So I'm just pulling my website here because I can't remember the top of my head of all of them.
Bucket intercoolers, gasser bases.
Yeah, you got some bed covers for like the 83 Silverado and the 62 C10. I like your camper back. You've got the camper back for the tuned Silverado. I think that's a very cool option. I actually bought that on the last order that I got from you.
I'm actually releasing a full size one too right now.
Nice.
I'm digging the dumpster, Hayden. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. That's one of my very first designs I did was that dumpster.
Nice.
Pretty fun.
So surfboards, the engine bays are really interesting to me, like because you basically offer a complete engine bay for anyone who wants to cut the hood off their car and drop something like that in there. So were those something that came about because of requests, or is that like you just did that on spec and thought, well, a lot of people are going to want an EK9 or a R35 engine bay?
No, so those were on requests. People were asking for engines or engine bay or something along those lines, and I had that's actually one of the things I outsourced. And some guy had a couple of designs for different 1/64 scale cars, and I was like, "Can I use these?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem." But it just really helped me get it to a bigger audience because he was only offering the files; he wasn't printing them, and a lot of people don't have the 3D printers and don't want to go through that hassle.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, all righty. Let's see. David, go ahead.
Well, yeah. While you check the comments, it just occurs to me, and I hate to get deep every show, guys, but Hayden's another dude, another guest on this show, viewers, that loved what he did and just kept doing it. That passion grew into this is your full-time gig, isn't it, Hayden?
Yes, at the moment, yes, it is.
That's amazing. It really is. Like if you love what you do, just do it, and the results will follow, and people will gravitate toward it. So, all you customizers out there, whatever you're doing, put everything you got into it.
That's how David became a professional wrestler.
That's right. That is a true story.
For 1 year now, I think.
It's 9 months, but I love it.
You're good at it.
Yep. Looks like Naruto's going to be buying some of your 2J motors, so that's cool.
Oh, thank you.
2J.
Yeah. So you ship? Do you ship all over the world, or are you shipping just in the U.S. right now?
I ship to a couple different countries. I won't say worldwide because there are some countries that shipping is just outrageous.
Sure.
But I ship to like Germany, Australia, Canada, the UK, Paris, Italy, just to name a couple, Mexico, stuff like that. But yeah, there is a couple.
Are you on pirate ship, Hayden?
For certain orders, I am.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you knew about it because it's.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily through I have a website through Shopify, and with my plan, I get a discount on shipping. So it's pretty much the equivalent of pirate ship.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
No, it's a really cool selection of parts, and like you said, you just added like 250 more decals, which is insane. So it's nice to see the selection growing, and I'm really hopeful that the community will continue to respond well to that and continue supporting this. So because the more they buy from you, the more we benefit, because it encourages you to keep coming up with new stuff and designing new things. And I love that your designs are mostly almost entirely original and your stuff. So you're getting something unique. This isn't just that you're buying stuff from somewhere overseas and selling it at a huge markup. These are your actual designs and your actual work, and I think that's very cool.
Yes,
so
thank you.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Hey Hayden, do you mind if I put Chuck and Mark on the spot real quick? I think you'll get a kick out of this.
Sure.
I say, guys, for our upcoming round 2 build off, that one of the prizes we do one of Hayden's mystery boxes. I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm pretty intrigued about what's in a mystery box. If you,
I was going to ask about those.
Is everything in the mystery box legal, Hayden, or you have to worry about some kind of glitter bomb or something?
No, that would be pretty.
Glitter
funny.
Bomb of little 3D printed engines in their face.
Right?
I wouldn't be mad. I'd be impressed.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I think too, and a lot of people don't realize you also sell the tools for tapping and drilling your customs as well, to get that really nice proper it's not riveted, but you get that really nice hex head button finish on your stuff.
You should buy some of those, David.
I should.
Yeah, just
David's still gluing his shut.
No, I don't.
I gotta get back in the shop.
Attention.
I gotta get back in the shop, Hayden. I miss customizing. And Chuck was joking about that. But man, when you Mark's got a custom I did for him. When you
oh nice.
Look at that.
When you screw a custom job and you pull it tight, there's nothing to like you can't do that with glue or Bondo or not Bondo or what am I thinking of?
JB Weld.
JB Weld. Yeah, it just doesn't. After you've jacked up that casting, bending it, trying to get it apart, you've got to screw them down at the end of it.
Yeah, before I was doing the glue thing too, and it was just I wanted to change something up on it, and I couldn't, or you said you couldn't get that fitment right or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any tips or recommendations when it comes to attaching or prepping and painting your 3D printed parts to a custom? What are some of the steps that you recommend for people when they're buying these things and want to put them on a car?
So there's no prep work required for my 3D parts. It's a super easy to paint material. Paint sticks right onto it. What I usually do for myself, if I'm doing it, I just do there's like a 98-cent can of black paint at Home Depot. And I just do a super thin coat, and then I can start working. It's just plain black. It's called Quick Color. It's a gray can.
Yep.
That's my favorite paint. It's my favorite paint. It's the best black I've ever used.
You said it's Wick Color?
Yeah.
Quick.
Quick.
Oh, Quick. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. The can looks like it's straight out of the 80s. I know exactly the can that you're talking about. They haven't updated that can design in forever, and yeah, it's
That's
$1.
why Chuck likes it.
It's super it's super retro, and it's one of those things that I love because it is. You're right. It is punching way above its weight class when it comes to it's like
Performance.
Can't beat the price.
I can't really speak to any of their other paints, but I agree with you. Like that black quick color paint is great. Like
I haven't seen any other colors. I've seen black and I've seen white. And that's it.
Yeah, that's right. I think at one point they did like a safety red or something like that. But but yeah, I think you really are just kind of getting like, so you want to put paint on something.
Exactly.
You know,
it's a great cheap way rather than a Rust-Oleum and worrying about the finish. Is it glossy? Is it satin? Is it matte? It's paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Does it have?
That's what the bottle should say.
What finish is it?
Right?
What finish is it? Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, it does finish. It does dry. So
yeah,
it's
the best one I've ever used.
No, that's good advice. I kind of, it's funny because I graduated when I started doing the channel. I graduated to airbrush painting, and you kind of get up in your head once you start airbrush painting. You feel like everything has to be airbrush painted, and that's not really true. Yeah. Like the if you're getting fine details and stuff, yeah, airbrush is the way to go. But when it comes to basic primer, especially if you're in a hurry or you've got, like when I was doing like a bunch of builds for Diecast SuperCon, I did like 20 customs for Diecast SuperCon, and you go to Rattlecan on stuff like that because it's just so much quicker. And it's right. A lot of people feel too that you have to use a primer as a base, and that's not always true either. No. It's really just getting something that tacks well to the paint or to the product and makes it so that more paint can go on top of it. And black is a great thing to start with because anywhere that paint doesn't show up, it just kind of shows up as shadow. And usually on miniatures that actually works in your favor because it will add depth to whatever it is that you're painting on top of. So that's a really good tip. I like that actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mr. Rattlecan himself, Jim Silva's in the chat saying airbrush thigh. Yeah, Jim is.
I thought Jim did finger painting.
Yeah, Jim just gets the big apple barrel paint and squirts it at the car and somehow makes it look like $1 million. Bullet Tony is saying color shot, incredibly quality rattle can paint. Yep, that's another really good one. Naruto Wolf is saying, "Yep, I'm sold on the website. It's going to be my new shopping store." Nice. Well, thank you, Naruto.
Look at that.
So don't walk, Naruto run over there. And and he's got you've got a sale going on right now, Hayden. So let's talk a bit about that for the people that are watching live.
So right now I have all my wheels are half price pretty much from retail.
Okay.
And you get the whole wheel for that, just to clarify.
Not just half a wheel.
I don't cut it in half.
Yeah.
I'm doing that so that at the beginning of the year I can re-up on some designs that people are more interested in or have been looking for that I haven't been able to deliver. And so all my stuff is discounted from now until the end of the year.
That's
so
fantastic.
January 1st, things go back, and I hope we have some brand new inventory there. But no promises.
And
hoping I can deliver.
Pick up a gift certificate while you're there for your family, your loved ones. I'm sure they'll love that in their stocking.
And
it is a good gift for sure.
It is.
Send your buddy some wheels.
Yeah. And I don't think you can go wrong sending any diecast fan in your life. Especially, even just wheels, like just to encourage someone who's not a customizer to do a wheel swap. I mean, that's where we all kind of start. Is going, man, this main line is cool, but I really wish it was on something that looked more
really wish it had pink wheels.
Yeah, really wish it had pink wheels. So
Hayden, I bet you get some cool feedback, some photos of people when like they're super proud of their projects, how they came out with your stuff.
I do, yes. I have a lot of people on Instagram who will privately message me with 10, 15 pictures of their car saying, "Look, this is all your stuff on here." Like, this looks awesome. Because a lot of stuff, unfortunately, I don't have time to use it myself. So I'll live vicariously through their builds that I'm seeing. And I'm like, this is really cool. I wish I can do that.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll do that. I'll tell them, post on your story. I'll repost it and I'll add it. I have a whole, I think 5 different tabs, over 500 pictures on my Instagram page on the highlights part.
Yeah,
and
cool.
It just says cool builds, and it's everyone's work that I repost, and I save them all there.
So that, well done.
If you ever want inspiration,
for that.
goes to there.
Awesome.
Nice. And I just a quick shout out because I was just going back over the site. Your gasser wheel, not gasser wheels, the gasser tires are fantastic. By the way, I picked up a set of those, and even if you're not putting them on a car, they're just great to have. They got this really nice raised white letter Goodyear decal on them. Love
Oh
those.
yes,
Those
so
are
good.
those are perfect for a diorama or for like throwing in the bed of a truck if you're doing a custom that look like race wheels. I also want to shout out the Kang bands that you have, the off-road
Off-road
tires
ones.
that you
Yeah.
sell, and that's an incredible deal right now, guys.
Yes.
That is $2.65 on his site. Those are $10 wheels all day long, so go check those out. Because yeah, I've before I found your site, I remember I paid like $10 for my first set of King bands, and
Yeah.
but yeah,
They can get up there.
that's a really good price. And there's one other one that I have to shout out is the Captain America. Well, it's just called America Shield wheels. I think
Yeah.
those are hysterical. I love them.
Yeah, from the drag bus.
For the drag bus, but yeah, they're very fun. I'm going to go back to the comments really quick. Naruto Wolf once again is asking, do you test out the wheels and parts that you make fit onto a casting to see if it's accurate and to scale?
Not all the wheels, I don't. Just because not everyone does the same cars. A lot of the 3D stuff I will test fit unless it's like a universal part, like a fender flare or like a bucket seat. Like that's kind of a universal thing. But for
Sure.
example, I'm planning to release a lot of different things for Silverados, like the bed.
Mhm.
Like I do like a lot of bed fillers, like David had mentioned with the pumpkins earlier.
Mhm.
And those I do test fit. So I have a whole container over there that I've been, making sure that everything fits well. Because I spent the last week designing a whole bunch of stuff and printing it, and I don't want to sell something. And because I've done that before when I wasn't testing it, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Here's a refund. Let me go back to the drawing board and figure this out before.
Sure.
So I'll take it off the website and all that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
now I do check it out.
He had also asked if you test fit your 3D printed stuff before it goes out, which I would assume that you do, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
No, yes,
So,
I do.
yeah. And Bullet Tony Customs asks, any deep dish 5 spokes, not the OG Fat 5s. Maybe I missed them.
Only ones I have right now are those the like the Kragers, the truck ones, but no other 5 spokes like that. Not deep, at least.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Hayden, what's on your calendar for shows maybe in 24 so people can come meet you in person?
SuperCon, Diecast SuperCon is a good one that I'll be going to. I will be hopefully getting a room at the LA convention or at the LA Hot Wheel convention. I try and get that every year. I had my first room this past or beginning of the month, actually, I just realized. But yeah, those are 2 main shows I try to do. And I also drive back to California maybe like once a month to do a local show down there that I used to go to all the time.
Awesome.
So yeah, I usually post up on my Instagram where I'll be at, but I don't have a full year calendar of what's happening yet. But those are 2 events I try to be at.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you were out there trying to make this personal, and that's always the best part about this hobby.
Yeah, so definitely go to the shows if you can, meet folks like Hayden and support their work because it's really cool. You got one last question. Simon's Car Stuff says, how about a 3D printed figure that fits under the rear wheel of a G35 working on a takeover diorama? That must I don't.
No, that's more like Chargers. That's like Chargers and Challengers. And
I thought that was Mustangs at car shows, but
no, those crowds. You got to hit the crowds.
Yeah, that's funny.
Leaving the car show.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, cool. Well, Hayden, it's been a delight having you on. I've been wanting to have you on the show for a while, so I appreciate you responding and joining us. One more time, let's tell people where they can find you, follow you, all that good stuff.
All my socials are HHWCustoms, and my website is HHWCustoms.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I have a YouTube channel that I need to start uploading more to, TikTok and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty much everywhere underneath the same name.
All right, fantastic. So guys, please, it sounds like some of you have already gone there and purchased some stuff. I know I'm going to after I get off this thing because I know you guys are going to all buy out all the cool stuff. So I need to hurry and get my order in. But before we wrap things up, Mark, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show, but can we get a Driven Dreams update from you?
Driven Dreams is I just posted something yesterday. So we are extending it for as long as it takes pretty much to get to 20,000. We're at a little over 12,000 and change right now. I don't have the exact number off the top of my head. But yeah, still taking numbers in for donations. So if anybody's got some extra, that should be up to date. If you look that up today, I think it might be 12,057 now. I don't know. But yeah, we're trying to get to 20,000. So I'll extend it till, I don't know, probably a couple more weeks. I'd like to be before, I'd like to get there before Christmas, a couple of weeks before Christmas at minimum. So yeah, so amazing numbers, a lot better than last year. I think I waited a couple weeks after the cutoff and we got to 10,000. So we're going to be pretty much, if we get to 20, which we'll have
we can do it. We can do it.
Yeah, I don't really have any other options than to get to 20. So
we are going to do it. So we're gonna keep pushing it as much as we can. I will say also, thank you for that update, Mark. BP Customs, Ben had a quick question. What are you doing your 3D design in, Hayden?
Fusion 360 is one of the ones I use the most for my scale accurate stuff. If I'm doing something artsy like a figurine or something like that, I will use a Blender.
Nice.
Yep.
And guys, I highly recommend, if you are interested, check those out. Blender is free. Tinkercad is a great way to get started on those if people are thinking about their own designs. And that's it's a really good skill to learn. It's a great way to train your mind, and it's a fun way to basically build miniatures without having to get the model paints out or get the drill out. It's just a fun thing to go around on. But first, go over and support Hayden and buy parts from him, because believe you me, it's going to save you so much more time and money and headache just buying the parts, especially if you've got something like that already available. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you, Hayden. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, David. And thank you for making it to the end of another episode. We want to give a shout out, of course, to our patrons who make this show go. I just realized I don't have that graphic with me. So shout out to our
you know who you are.
You know who you are. Our amazing patrons, the First and 64th Customs, Donald Rashik, Video Geek Productions, and of course our own Twice Diecast are our executive producer level patrons. And a big shout out to everyone who makes the show go. You can support us over at diecastbreakdown.com or by hitting the little join button at the bottom of your screen. That is a great way to, kind of help us pay for things like StreamYard, like Squadcast that we do all of this stuff in. Those all cost money, and we are, doing this. we are actively losing money.
We're starving artists. Okay.
So we Mark and David actually pay to do this, if you can believe it. So I'm so grateful to them and grateful to you. And of course, if you can't support, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're watching us on YouTube, go follow us on the podcast app. And if you're listening on the podcast app, hey, we got a YouTube channel. Check it out. It's got some good stuff on there. And as always, we want to thank you for coming along with us for the ride. So until next time, stay fresh, cheese bags.